I refer to coming to Skyline once a week as my weekly fix.
Just moved here, last Monday, and I think we've eaten lunch here, well, one dinner here and 2 lunches.
We have to have our chili fix, Skyline fix, at least once a week.
I just have to die and go to heaven. Hope there's one up there.
It all started with a dream. In a small restaurant on the west side of Cincinnati, a Greek immigrant named Nicholas Lambrinides invents the taste that would drive Cincinnatians into a frenzy for decades to come. But Nicholas didn't just invent a uniquely delicious chili recipe. He knew right from the beginning that he wanted his whole restaurant to be different in every way. So he paid close attention to every guest detail. In order to welcome his guests as soon as they walked into Skyline, Nicholas made the steam table the focal point of his restaurant, showcasing the preparation of his unique culinary discovery. Guests could actually watch and even participate as their food was prepared right before their eyes. Welcoming and getting to know his guests was Nicholas's vision from the start. Before long, this restaurant concept had everyone talking and eating. 50 years after the birth of Skyline Chili, Nicholas's original vision is still intact. Guests are still greeted with a view of the steam table, and they enter Skyline with a certain feeling, like it's a place where people know them. They don't just come to Skyline to feel filled up, they come to feel fulfilled.
Skyline is definitely more than chili.
Skyline Chili 3-Ways, conies, bibs, hot sauce, and oyster crackers have become traditions in the Midwest, much like baseball and riverboats. And the phenomenon is spreading like wildfire across the country and beyond. People all over have fallen in love with Skyline Chili, but it's more than just the chili. It's the feeling of belonging. A feeling of being more than just satisfied with a hearty meal. It's the whole experience, the Skyline Time experience.
Making a difference in people's lives is what is important to me.
The people that work at Skyline restaurants really are special.
We always try to make everyone feel like they're part of our Skyline family.
Skyline is definitely more than chili.
It's our people making a connection with our customers.
I try and make a difference in someone's day.
You got to make sure your customers feel like they belong there.
And hopefully, after their meal with us, they'll have a really nice feeling.
If you make them feel good, they're going to keep coming back for you.
We know a lot of our customers by name. We've built friendships from our customers.
If they notice you and they see you day after day, they're like, "See you, Stacy, have a good day." It puts a smile on my face. We make them feel special by remembering what they order. A lot of the times we order their food while they're standing out in the parking lot.
Guests know there's only one place they can receive service like that, and that's Skyline Chili.
When we work together to create this experience, that's Skyline Time.
I very much feel like I belong here when I come here for lunch, and I know everybody and say hi to everybody when we come in.
So what can you do to make Skyline Chili special for your guest?
You want to be genuine. You just want to be you. Go out there and have a good time and let your customers know that you enjoy working here and you enjoy them coming in to your restaurant.
Because after all, this is your Skyline too.
Just make them feel welcome, like they could be part of the family.
We remember them, we remember where they work, what they order.
We can pretty much go in and say the usual, and it'll be there on the table.
It really makes a difference. It makes them feel like, they're somebody.
Yeah, like they belong.
People love to have their bibs tied on. Tie their bib on for them. That makes them happy. They're like, "Oh, all this special treatment. This is good service."
I think the waitresses are really friendly, and that makes a big difference.
Skyline's the only place you can get that.
It's important for you to get to know the sense of teamwork. It's that team effort that really makes Skyline special, because with that teamwork, we are able to interact and help each other out and create the atmosphere we want.
We all have our certain jobs we do, but we all help each other. If someone else needed help, we would run over and help them.
You take out their food, you get them their drinks.
When we have teamwork, the customer benefits. The customer's happy and the customer comes back.
I have had customers come to me and say, "You made my day. Skyline made my day." You walk away from an experience like that and you feel wonderful.
When you see a large group or families or a disabled person coming in, you want to make sure that you do everything you can to make their visit to the restaurant as special as it can be.
One type of guest in particular that needs your ultimate service, a first-time customer.
You can always spot a first-time customer because they usually look at the menu.
If it is a customer's first time, you should offer them a sample, like a small sample of the three-way, because it is very different from what most people are used to expecting.
When you have a first-time guest at Skyline, you always let your manager know. That way they can stop by during the meal to make sure everything's okay.
And then you have to tell them how to eat it, because most of the time they try to twirl the spaghetti up and then they get it all over. So then you show them that you cut into it like you would like a piece of pie.
Don't forget the 2-bite follow-up. It's to check on your customer, make sure that their food is hot, what they ordered, and to their satisfaction.
At the end of the meal, you ask them how everything was, thank them for coming in, and ask them to come back.
Ask them to fill out a comment card to tell what they thought about everything.
If you deliver that kind of service to a customer first time in that door, he will be back.
I want to make the first-time customer a regular customer.
Now you know the Skyline Chili story. You know the things that combine to make Skyline time a remarkable experience. And you know that you are the most important part of that experience for Skyline guests. When you make your guests feel special, they'll come back to your Skyline for life. Because everybody wants a place where they feel they belong. Our food and environment are exceptional and set Skyline apart from everyone else. But the difference is really in the experience. The difference is you. That's what makes Skyline Time special. Remember the keys to Skyline Time. Be yourself. Learn about your customers. Cultivate regulars. Convert first-timers. And above all else, show your customers that you sincerely care about them as individuals.
When you put all these things together, you're going to see how special the Skyline experience is.
Together, at last it's Skyline time. Together, at last it's Skyline time.
This is a Skyline cheese coney. It's got a delicious hot dog, Cincinnati-style chili, and a big mound of cheese. You know, Skyline sells over 16 million of these things a year. Think you might be missing out on something?
Skyline, Cincinnati-style chili.
Hello, I'm Matt.
And I'm Angela. And we don't want you to miss out on a thing.
So today, we're going to show you how to make the perfect coney.
Watch Lisa as she starts her shift. She'll be working conies today. She's got a lot of things to do to get ready for the rush, but we all know where she's headed first.
Of course, she's headed to the hand sink to wash and sanitize before she begins any food preparation. We really do care about serving our customers safe food. So at Skyline, we just do it.
Hand washing and sanitizing complete. Lisa can now begin getting ready for the rush. First, she brings out a bucket of fresh sanitizer water and clean towels. Since we make the food right before the customer's eyes, we need to keep the area clean and sanitized. Next, she stocks clean dishes on both sides of the table and make sure carry-out coney boxes are within arm's reach. This way, when it gets busy, 2 people can easily make conies, 1 on each side of the table. Then Lisa double-checks that all food is ready and in its proper place on the table. Grilled wieners, steamed buns, chili, cheese, mustard, and onions should be stocked and ready for making conies. Be certain that proper utensils are ready for each product. Iced teaspoons for onions, mustard sticks, an 8-ounce chili ladle, coney racks, and wiener forks. During slow periods, cover the cheese and chili cracks with lids to maintain quality and temperature.
Hey, it looks like we're about ready to roll.
Not quite. Don't forget about stocking backup products so that we don't have to leave the steam table area during the rush. Stock backup packs of buns on nearby shelving. Bags of wieners should be placed in a reach-in nearest the grill. Pans of shredded cheese and backup mustard and onions should be stored in the nearest reach-in. And here are a few more tips. Roll the wieners on the hold side of the grill at least once every 5 minutes to prevent burning and to maintain proper temperature. Check the water level in the bun warmers before the rush and fill as needed. Soft, steamed buns are critical to making the perfect coney. Use buns in a rotation method established for your restaurant. Once a warmer empties, refill it before heading on to the next warmer. And remember at all times to make conies on the rack from start to finish. This will keep the buns from getting soggy and make sure that the chili goes into the bun or back into the crock. The only exception is when making single conies or sandwiches. They can be made in your hand. Your training coach will show you this later. Now that we're ready for the rush, let's start making conies.
Skyline conies. Once you eat the real thing, nothing else will do.
Matt, why don't you show us your stuff?
First, I'm going to show you 2 regular conies. An important tip for whenever you're making conies. Always start by pulling plates. You don't want to end up with a bunch of good-looking conies and have to fumble for a plate.
Good point.
After pulling plates, take 2 soft buns out of the warmer. Place one on the rack, and holding the other, stab 2 wieners at a time, sideways with the fork. Now here's a signature move. Make a canoe. That's right, a canoe, with the bun. Hold the bun as shown. Then insert both your thumbs slightly into the center. Gently pull it open till it forms a canoe shape. This means that the bun is open wider in the middle, but still joined at both ends. A good canoe-shaped bun is the only way to get plenty of chili into the coney. Using your thumb, push the wiener firmly into the bottom of the bun. This will help to keep its canoe shape. Then place the bun on the coney rack with the flat side against the flange. Pick up the other bun and repeat the same steps, placing it on the rack with the flat side touching the other bun. Pick up the rack with your hand positioned over the top and carry the rack over to the mustard and dab each wiener with the mustard stick, starting at the flange end and moving towards you.
You're just too good, Matt. Look at how the mustard covers the wieners end to end, and I noticed you always hold the rack over the product you're topping.
Now, holding the 8-ounce chili ladle like you would a pencil, stir the chili in a circular motion, bottom to top. Lift the ladle 1/2 to 3/4 full. With the coney rack over the chili crock, carefully ladle chili into the center of the bun, where it's the widest. Pour just enough to cover the wiener and fill the bun without it running out. Start at the flange end and work toward you.
Wow, Matt, great chili action.
Thanks, Angela. Now move the rack over the onion container and holding the spoon with your thumb on the handle near the bottom. Portion 1 rounded spoonful evenly over each coney. Do it in a sweeping motion, starting from the flange end and working toward you. Make sure you get good end-to-end coverage. To plate, hold the rack over the plate so the conies are positioned exactly where you want them to end up. Then lift the ends nearest you so the opposite ends touch the plate, and pull the rack towards you. The conies will land perfectly in place. The Skyline coney: bun, wiener, mustard, onion, and chili.
That looked easy.
Well, it might look easy, but you'd better make sure you're using soft, steamed buns and getting them open wide in the middle. I'll tell you what, I'll make 2 more conies, and this time you point out my Skyline technique.
Okay. First you pull 2 soft, warm buns, put one on the rack, keep the other in your hand, and stab 2 wieners from the side. Aha! You make a canoe. Press the wiener into the bun and place on the rack. Now do the same with the second bun. Carry the rack to the mustard and dab each wiener with the mustard stick. Stir the chili in a circular motion, lift a partial ladle, and holding the rack over the crock, pour into the middle of the bun. Bring the rack over to the onions and spread 1 rounded spoonful over each coney. Now those are conies.
Okay, Angela, ready for a classic? I'm going to turn these conies into cheese conies.
Oh, yeah? How are you going to do that?
The secret? A cheese coney is simply a coney. Add cheese.
I knew that.
To make a cheese coney, move the rack over the cheese pan. Gently fluff the cheese with one hand and pick up a small portion with your thumb and fingertips. Place the cheese on top and walk it into place. It should cover the length of the bun. Again, position them over the plate. Lift the ends and pull the rack towards you. Place on a serving tray for immediate delivery to the customer. And there you have it. Lots of chili, a lot of great Skyline taste.
I learned a lot. How about you? When coney orders are called or come up on the screen, you should A. Pull buns and start making them. B. Pull plates or boxes and then start making them. Or C. Add water to the bun warmer. And the answer is B. Pull plates or boxes first. That way you won't have to fumble for a plate or box when you're holding a rack of finished conies. Plus, it helps you to remember how to plate or box them once they're made. The keys to making the best tasting cheese conies are A. Use only soft steamed buns. B. Open buns into a canoe shape. Or C. The more cheese, the better. If you've ever eaten a Skyline cheese coney, then you know that A and B are definitely key. Soft, steamed, canoed buns filled to the top with our great tasting chili and just the right amount of cheese. Too much, and it tastes like a big cheese sandwich. Nothing compares to a perfect Skyline cheese coney. When making conies, you should A. Pull buns and open into canoe shapes, then stab and gently insert wieners. B. Pull buns, keeping one in hand, then stab wieners, canoe a bun, and firmly insert wiener, rack, and repeat. If you pull and open all your buns on the rack first, then wiener, they won't keep their canoe shape, which means they won't hold enough chili. So B is correct. Canoe one bun and insert the wiener, rack, then repeat. It's faster and it tastes better. When adding mustard, chili, onions, and cheese to conies on the rack, start by holding the rack over the product, then top A. From flange end moving toward you. B. From the end nearest you and moving toward the flange. Go with A. Always top from the flange end towards you. When making conies, you should stir the chili and fill the 8-ounce ladle A. 1/2 to 3/4 full. B. Full if you're making a whole rack. The answer is A. Too much chili in the ladle makes it really hard to pour into the canoe without spilling onto the outside of the bun. 1/2 to 3/4 full works a lot better. Add mustard to the coney with the mustard stick by A. Dabbing each coney wiener end to end. B. Dragging the mustard stick on the wiener covering end to end. A is the way. It's quicker and allows you to mustard 5 to 6 conies as you dab and rotate the stick. When pouring chili into the buns, you should A. Pour into the center of the buns. B. Pour chili back and forth across the conies. A is the proper technique. When you pour into the center filling the canoe, pour lift, pour lift. It's faster and neater because you have a wider target to hit. When adding onions to conies, A. Use a heaping spoonful, dump, then spread. B. Use a rounded spoonful, dump and spread in a sweeping motion. The answer is B. It's quicker. Remember, we sell over 16 million a year. Do you see the need for speed? Top conies with cheese by A. Squeezing a small amount with your thumb and fingertips. Or B. Gently picking up a portion with your thumb and fingertips and walking it the length of the bun. Definitely B. Always handle cheese gently, walking it across the length of the bun. Matt, some people like their conies, no mustard, no onion. What's the Skyline lingo for a coney without mustard or onions?
We call it a chili wiener. It's simple to make. Watch, I'll do 2. After you pull a plate, take 2 soft buns out of the warmer, placing one on the rack and keeping the other in hand. Stab 2 wieners, make a canoe, and push 1 wiener into the bun. Place on the coney rack, ditto on the second bun. Bring the rack straight to the chili, and holding it above the crock, lift the ladle and pour chili into the canoe. That's it. They are ready for a plate. The chili wiener, same great taste, but without the mustard and onions. So, Angela, can you guess how to make a chili wiener with cheese?
Of course! Start with a chili wiener and add cheese. Just like a cheese coney, you gently fluff the cheese. Then place a small portion on top, walking it into place. The chili wiener with cheese. Simply a bun, wiener, chili, and cheese.
Okay, here's a tricky one. What if the customer wants a coney without the wiener?
Well, we have just what they're craving. We call it the chili sandwich, and it has almost twice the chili to replace the wiener.
Show us the chili sandwich, Angela.
Start by taking buns from the warmer and bring one in your hand to the mustard. Make a canoe shape and add the bottom of the bun with the mustard stick. Add 1 rounded teaspoon of onions and using the back of the spoon, press evenly into the bottom of the bun. Place on the rack while you follow the same procedure with the second bun. Canoe, mustard, and onions. Add to the rack. Stir the chili and bring the rack over the crock. Lift a partial ladle of chili and carefully pour into the bun until the canoe is full, but not spilling over. If needed, gently pinch the ends of the bun to hold the chili in place and carefully plate. The chili sandwich. That great chili taste without the wiener.
You know, some people might just want to top it off with cheese.
Yep, you're talking the chili sandwich with cheese. Start by making a chili sandwich. Mustard, onions. Then gently press a small amount of cheese, about 6 to 8 strands in the bottom and ends of the bun. Besides tasting great, this also keeps the chili from soaking through the bun. Watch. Here it goes again. Mustard, onions, cheese. Gently press. Pretty cool, huh? Place the buns on the rack and hold the rack above the chili crock. Stirring. We know you've got that part by now. Lift a partial ladle of chili and pour into the bun. Again, fill as much as you can without overflowing. Pinch if needed. And add the cheese. The chili sandwich with cheese. Just what the chili and cheese lover craves.
You know, it seems like there are lots of coney varieties at Skyline.
That's because our customers have created their own favorites over the years.
And yes is the answer to any request.
Like, what about our customers that want their sandwiches without mustard or onions?
We simply make them plain. Here's a chili sandwich with cheese plain. Start with the bun. Skip the mustard and onions. Just add the cheese. And the chili. Pinch. And top it off with cheese. The chili sandwich with cheese plain. A mouthful without mustard or onions.
Lots of kids and some adults order just plain wieners on buns. This is how to make the wiener bun. It's a matter of simple assembly. For a single wiener bun, it's a bun and 1 wiener. For a wiener bun, it's a bun and 2 wieners. Wiener buns, a kid's favorite.
Then again, some folks might want to dress that up with a little cheese. Will we do that?
Yes, absolutely. The wiener bun with cheese is the wiener bun topped off with a small portion of cheddar cheese. The wiener bun with cheese, just what my little brother likes.
Sometimes customers want a little more or a little less of this or that. For them, heavy or light will make it just right.
Take us through the heavies, Matt.
For heavy mustard, add 1.5 times the normal amount. Roll the mustard stick so it leaves a wide stripe along the length of the wiener. For heavy onion, add 1.5 rounded spoonfuls of onion to the product. And for light, just use half the regular amount.
How do I know which size plate to put the conies on?
Watch, I'll show you. For 1 coney, use a single plate. For 2 conies, use a round plate. For 3, use a regular weigh plate. And for 4, place on a large weigh plate. Remember, position, lift, and pull. They'll land perfectly in place. There's also a method to placing them on a tray. We place the conies on a tray so that a quick shake of the head by the server will alert them to which products have mustard and onion, and which don't. Look at this tray. See the 4 cheese conies on the left? Shake your head in the direction that the buns are pointing. Left to right? These conies are saying either no mustard or no onion. Now, shake your head in the direction the buns of the other products are pointing. Up and down? Yes, these conies have mustard and onion. Conies are a great product for our customers on the go. For them, we package in coney boxes. Place 1 in a single coney box and 2 in a 2 coney box. They need to be positioned to run lengthwise with the tab. This leaves extra room so the cheese doesn't hang out of the box. We box 3 and 4 conies using the same size container. 3 go front to back, and 4 go side to side. This placement is important because it keeps our customers' food from rolling around in the box. The 5/6 container is used for boxing. You got it, 5 or 6 conies. If you're boxing 5, pick up 1 of the conies and place at an angle as shown. Or for 6, pick up and place 2 conies at an angle. Then slide the other 4 into the container.
Okay, how about a refresher before you head to the steam table? Name these products. A wiener on a bun with chili is called. The answer is chili wiener. A bun, wiener, mustard, chili, and onion is a coney. A cheese coney without the wiener is a chili sandwich with cheese. A wiener on a bun is a single wiener bun. And finally, a cheese coney without mustard or onion is called a chili wiener with cheese. Whew! If you got all those, consider yourself near genius. If you didn't, don't worry. With a little practice, you'll be up to speed in no time.
So now you've seen and hopefully tasted the perfect coney, found only at Skyline. Soon you'll be making some of the 16 million we sell a year. But it'll take practice and pride to get that great Skyline taste in every bite and every coney. But you can do it because you care enough to make a difference. Have fun making the perfect coney.
Sugar and spice. I feel nice like sugar and spice.
Hi! So you want to learn how to work the steam table. I'm Angela.
And I'm Matt.
And today we're going to show you the many ways of Skyline chili.
Skyline's a great place to work, right Angela?
Yeah, once you know your way around.
Hey Angela, did you know that Skyline sells over 8 million ways a year?
Wow! It sounds like we ought to get started showing you the Skyline way.
Here's Mary. She's just starting her shift. Where do you think she's headed?
Well, I know something about Mary. She's heading to the first place we all go after clocking in, the hand sink.
Before beginning any food preparation, employees must always wash and sanitize their hands. At Skyline, we're really committed to serving customers safe food. The bacteria and germs on your hands can cause people to get sick. So wash and sanitize. Just do it.
Look, it's almost Skyline time. Let's see what Mary's doing to make sure the rush goes smoothly. First things first. She's bringing out a bucket of fresh sanitizer water and clean towels. Since we make the food right before the customer's eyes, we need to keep the area clean and sanitized. Next, she stocks clean dishes on both sides of the table and makes sure carryout containers are within arm's reach. Then, Mary double-checks that all the food is ready and in its proper place on the table. Onions, cheese, chili, spaghetti, and beans should be stocked and ready for making ways. Be certain that you have the proper utensils in each product: an 8-ounce chili ladle, spaghetti forks, a bean spoon, a 6-ounce ladle, and iced tea spoons in the onions. During slow periods, cover the cheese, chili crocks, and spaghetti crocks with lids to maintain quality and temperature. We don't cover the beans because that would make them mushy.
Hey, it looks like we're about ready.
But don't forget about stocking backup products so that we don't have to leave the steam table area during the rush.
Yeah, that would lead to some major stress.
Stock backup pans of cheese and onions in the nearest reach-in. And let's not forget about backup pans of spaghetti. Make sure they're 3/4 full and covered before placing them in the reach-in closest to the steamer. And check that there is backup spaghetti in the steamer when you're expecting a rush. Just a few more things. Since cheese tends to clump during storage, fluff it when you bring it to the steam table. And speaking of cheese, now that your stock work is done, want to practice some Michael Jordans?
Practicing his technique and accuracy made Michael Jordan a legend. Practicing your technique and accuracy with cheese will make your product the Skyline legend that it is. If it worked for Michael Jordan, it'll work for us. Practice makes perfect. And now for a recap. To get ready for a rush, you need to bring sanitizer water, stock dishes, stock carryout containers, stock the steam table, place utensils, cover product, place backup product, fluff cheese, and practice, practice, practice. Got it? Good. And now for our feature presentation.
A Skyline chili three-way has spaghetti, but it's not Italian. It has chili, but it's not from Texas. It has cheese, but it's not Swiss. It is, however, served from China.
Skyline, Cincinnati style chili.
So here's how we make it taste so good. Matt?
For dine-in orders, pull a regular way plate and hold it firmly as shown. Pick up the spaghetti fork so it lies across the fingers of your open hand. Place your thumb on the handle near the prongs.
That'll give you better control when you portion the spaghetti.
Using the fork, pull the hottest spaghetti from the underside of the product. Lift the spaghetti above the crock and position the plate under the spaghetti as shown.
Notice, as I make my products, that I always keep my plate over the crock of the product that I'm portioning.
Now, lower the fork to the center of the plate. Then, press firmly against the bottom of the plate and wiggle as you pull the fork straight off the edge of the plate. Use the back of the fork to spread the spaghetti so that it's full and level to the rim of the plate, and to scrape off any spaghetti hanging over the edge.
Hangers gotta go if you want it to look neat.
If you find yourself a little short on the spag, add some additional strands to fill in the bare spots.
Now we're ready for some of that incredible Skyline chili.
Hold the 6-ounce chili ladle down the handle like you hold a pencil. Not too far down or it gets real hot. Stir the product in a circular motion, bottom to top. Position the plate above the crock and lift a full ladle over the top of the plate. Dropping your wrist, ladle the chili down and away from you over the spaghetti. The faster you drop, the further it spreads. If any chili remains in the ladle, use it to touch up the bare spaghetti spots. We call that the drop wrist method.
Well, we pros call it slinging chili.
When finished, the chili should cover all spaghetti noodles except a thin edge at the rim. Now, place the plate up against the cheese pan and gently fluff the cheese. Using both hands, pick up an oval mound of cheese.
And don't squeeze the cheese.
Now for the finale. Carefully place the cheese oval on the product so it forms a dome, while leaving a thin edge of spaghetti and chili showing. Place the product directly onto a serving tray for immediate delivery to the guest. Hey, I can see it has 3 layers.
Well, after all, it is a 3-way.
Remember the keys to making a perfect 3-way. Use the hottest spaghetti, spread the spaghetti to rim level and edge to edge. Always stir the chili. Use a full ladle down to the last drop and top it with a dome of fluffed cheddar cheese. 3 distinct layers of great taste.
What about our customers with smaller appetites? How about a small 3-way?
Yeah, same great taste, less filling. The small 3-way is made the same as the regular way. The key difference is that we use half as much. Now, as Angela makes a small 3-way, see if you can point out what makes her technique so great. Okay, Angela, take it away. And away it goes. So, how did you do?
Well, that small 3-way certainly wouldn't be enough for you.
You bet, Angela. I always eat the large. Why don't you show us your style?
Really, Matt, it's not a lot different. Just a bigger portion on a bigger plate. Watch, I'll show you the difference. I use a large whey plate and spread the spaghetti slightly above the rim's edge. Take a closer look. Then, top it with an 8-ounce ladle of chili. I go for full coverage with the drop wrist method and use what's left over for touch-ups. And then, I cover it with a larger oval of cheese. It's on its way, the large 3-way. Let's look at some other ways our customers eat their chili.
How about the 4-way? It's a 3-way with the addition of diced onions or red beans. Notice we put the beans on the spaghetti, then add the chili. Be careful not to drag the ladle, or you'll lose your beans. Here's how we add the onions. Hold the onion spoon with your thumb on the handle near the bottom. For a small 4-way onion, dump 1 heaping spoonful on the chili. For a regular 4-way, dump 2 heaping spoonfuls, 1 at each end. And for a large 4-way, dump 3 heaping spoonfuls, 1 at each end and 1 in the middle. Spread the onions evenly over the chili using the back side of the spoon. This ensures that the customer gets the full flavor of the 4-way onion in every bite. Finish by topping off with the ovals of cheddar cheese.
Now, here's the scoop on how we add the beans. Start with a plate of spaghetti and add as follows. Hold the bean spoon slightly down the handle. When adding beans, always lift them from the crock and shake the spoon up and down to drain off the water. For a small 4-way bean, use half a spoonful. For a regular, use a rounded spoonful. Notice how the beans are dumped in a sweeping motion away from you and how the back of your spoon is used to spread them evenly for taste in every bite. For a large, use a heaping spoon. Then finish topping with chili and cheese.
What about our customers that like both bean and onion?
If they want it with the works, we make our 5-way. A 5-way is made just like the 4-way bean. Spaghetti, bean, chili, then we add onions using the 1-2-3 portioning method and top it off with a mound of cheddar cheese. As always, place a finished product on a serving tray for immediate delivery to the customer. The 5-way. We top it all the way.
Let's see how much you learned. If you get an order for a 4-way, would you top it with A, bean, or B, onion? If you said onion, you were right. We always assume a 4-way is topped with onion unless the server calls or the screen says bean. A small way contains what portion of a regular way? A, half the amount. B, 3/4 of the amount. The correct answer is A. A small way contains half the amount of each ingredient in a regular way. The 1, 2, 3 portioning method relates to A, how you put finished product on a tray, B, how you portion beans for small, regular, and large ways, C, how you portion onions for small, regular, and large ways. And the right answer is C. Remembering how to portion onions is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1 heaping spoonful for a small, 2 for a regular, and 3 for a large. Now for the final question. When portioning spaghetti, you should use the hottest spaghetti and spread it on the plate. A, edge to edge. B, rim to rim. C, level. Gotcha! The answer is A, B, and C. You should always spread spaghetti level, edge to edge, and rim to rim. So, are you finding your way around? Let's go on and take a look at some variations to our standard 3, 4, and 5 ways. You know, Angela, sometimes our customers want us to hold the cheese. For them, we serve up our chili and spaghetti dish. It's slightly heavier on the spaghetti so that it's filling.
Tell us how to do it, Matt.
Start with a regular plate of spaghetti. Portion a bit heavier, making it a slightly rounded plateful. Then, cover it with a ladle of our secret recipe chili. And if the customer requests, add onions, beans, or both.
That looks like a filling dish without the cheese. Say, Matt, I wonder how our servers respond to so many special requests.
At Skyline, we do whatever it takes to give the customers what they want. So quite simply, the answer is yes. What's the question?
With that in mind, can you tell us how to make a juicy?
Yes, absolutely. Start with a plate of portioned spaghetti. Lift the ladle without stirring the chili. Then skim the top until you get a full ladle of mostly juice. Next, outline the spaghetti around the edge of the plate, using about 3/4 of the ladle. Use what's left over to cover the remaining noodles. Place on a liner and finish topping. The juicy way, more of the tasty juices.
Looks like this dish should always be served with a bib.
What about customers who love the great taste of our chili but with less of the juices?
They would ask for a dry, of course. This is how you make the dry way. Prepare the product as usual, up to and including the chili. Use one of the following procedures to drain the juices. Place the plate at an angle in a chili bowl. While the juices drain, continue making other products. Or, poke the product several times with a fork so that the juices drain to the bottom of the plate. Then, use the fork to lift the spaghetti at one end and tilt the plate so that the juices drain back into the crock. Make sure you take your time to drain thoroughly, just the way the customer wants it. After the juices have drained, use the fork to move the product back in place. If you use the bowl method for draining, lift the plate and shift ingredients back into place. Pour the juices immediately back into the chili crock and place the bowl in a bus tub. Finish topping as requested.
Some folks just can't get enough of our great tasting chili. For them, extra chili is the way to go.
So how do you add extra chili to any of our whey products?
To add extra chili, we first prepare it the same way as a dry, draining off the juices. Then, no matter which size we're making, we add 4 more ounces of chili and place the product on a liner. Finish topping, and off it goes.
Matt, did your mom ever talk to you about putting the cart before the horse?
Yeah, that's when you do last things first.
Well then, you should be able to explain the inverted.
An inverted way is simply putting the cheese before the chili. Watch as Angela makes a 3-way and a 5-way inverted. Start with a plate of spaghetti. For the 5-way, add beans. Then add the full correct portion of cheese, spreading it so it covers all the spaghetti and is level. Then stir and carefully ladle the chili, covering all of the cheese. Top with onions and place on a liner. Finish off the 3-way with a full ladle of chili and place on a liner. Our inverted way, no matter if it's a 3-way, a 4-way, or a 5-way, top it in the usual order except put the cheese before the chili.
Sometimes, Matt, you just can't get enough of a good thing, and other times you get too much of a good thing. That's why we offer light and heavy portions.
Tell us, Angela, what do we do for customers who want a little more or a little less of their favorite ingredient?
As always, Matt, the answer is yes. For light, we use half of the ingredient amount, and for heavy, 1.5 times the amount. Let's take a look at light and heavy on our regular size ways. For light spaghetti, fill the plate with half the amount. For heavy spaghetti, fill a regular plate, then add half a portion more spaghetti. For light beans, add a half a spoonful, spreading evenly with the back of the spoon. For heavy beans, use 1.5 the amount, or a heaping spoonful. For light onion, use 1 heaping spoon and spread evenly. For heavy onion, use 3 heaping spoons and spread evenly across the product.
For the cheese lover or onion lover, we offer sides. For a side of onion, scoop 3 heaping spoons into a cracker bowl. This should fill the bowl halfway. For a side of cheese, fluff the cheese with one hand and portion a small dome into a cracker bowl. As the name suggests, serve on the side.
Okay, so far for training purposes, we've shown you how to prepare one product at a time. But during the rush, combining orders and making multiple ways together can be a real juggling act. Here's Skyline time in the fast lane. Start by pulling plates for the product ordered. In this case, we'll make 3 three-ways. First, spaghetti all 3 plates. Notice, same product, same portion. Consistency in size and taste is what our customers expect. Hot spaghetti, full and level, rim to rim. Remember to scrape off any hangers. Then, chili all 3 products. Stir first. For that great chili taste, use a full ladle and empty every drop. Use the drop wrist method. Faster drop, better coverage. Touch up the bare spots. Finally, cheese all 3 products. Fluff first and place oval mounds on the product. Remember, the customer sizes up our product visit to visit. Consistency does count. Move to a serving tray for immediate delivery. Hot, fast, delicious. The Skyline way.
A lot of our customers are on the run. They pick up food to eat in their cars, at the office, or back at home. Angela, show them how we package it for the folks on the go. Ways for to-go orders are made as chili spaghettis or chili spaghetti bean. Since cheese and onions are packed separately for the guests to add later, we'll take a look at a small and regular chili spaghetti and a large chili spaghetti bean, all packaged to go. For a small chili spaghetti, fill a half-pint container 3/4 full of spaghetti. For a regular chili spaghetti, portion spaghetti to cover the fill line. Make certain to get good edge-to-edge coverage. Scrape off any hanging spaghetti using the back of the fork. For a large chili spaghetti, do the same. Notice the lid is always placed underneath the carryout container before adding product. The container can get really hot, so this keeps you from getting burned. Then stir chili and portion as follows. For a small, use half a 6-ounce ladle. For a regular, use a full 6-ounce ladle. And for a large chili spaghetti bean, portion a heaping spoonful of beans onto the spaghetti and spread evenly. Then use a full 8-ounce ladle. Use the drop wrist method, covering all the spaghetti. Notice the finished product fills the container to the rim. Now cover, matching the tabs and then beginning at one end. Snap tightly, working your way around the container. Take the finished product immediately to the drive-thru or carryout for final packaging.
So, do you think you're ready for the steam table? Let's take one last check. Before starting any food preparation, you must A. Stock backup products. B. Wash and sanitize your hands. C. Check the temperature of all food. If you didn't get this one, you'd better head straight to the hand sink. The answer is B. Remember, just do it. Which of the following should be done to get ready for the rush? A. Stock clean dishes in carryout containers. B. Make sure all product is stocked and ready at the table. C. Stock backup product in nearby coolers. I hope you agree that it's all 3. Being prepared eliminates major stress. During slower periods, which of the following items should not be covered on the steam table? A. Spaghetti. B. Beans. Or C. Chili. Okay, good guess. The correct answer is B. No mushy beans on our ways. Ladling chili, you should A. Always stir first. B. Use a full ladle and the drop wrist method. C. Use any leftover in the ladle to touch up bare spots. Well, that was a trick question. The answer is all three, except that you don't stir first on a juicy. When cheesing ways, which is correct? A. Gently fluff the cheese. B. Use oval domes covering all but a thin edge of the product. C. Cover the entire product so that no layers are visible. The answer is A and B. C couldn't be correct because a finished product should reveal all its layers. Once a product is finished, it should be placed immediately onto a serving tray. Then, A. Set aside until the server can get to it. B. Served immediately to the customer by any available server. Or C. Served immediately to the customer by any available employee. Everybody likes hot food hot, and that's why the correct answer is C. It's everyone's job to get food off the steam table and to the customer, like now. Working the steam table at Skyline should be A. A cool place to be seen. B. A nice break from home. Or C. An awesome way to make money. Take your pick. We want you to make great food for our customers and have fun doing it.
So now you know the many ways of Skyline. You know what it takes to make good food. But what would really make it Skyline time is your personal pride and caring enough to make a difference with every customer.
Practice, have fun, and in the next few shifts, with the help of your training coach, you'll come a long way toward becoming a production pro on the steam table.
Whether you've been at it 20 years or are brand new on the job, managing a Skyline Chili restaurant is certainly a real challenge, and it's a challenge different than managing any other type of restaurant. I'm Jay Schatz, and today we're going to talk about how to face that challenge and meet up to it. And here to share some of their experiences with us are some very experienced people. Jeff Cornwell owns and operates the Beckett Ridge store. Doug Zhang is from the Highland Heights Skyline. Denise Collins manages the Escort store, and Pat Brown is from East Main in beautiful Columbus, Ohio. Pat, we're going to pick on you first. We'll start with you. Why is managing a Skyline so different than managing any other type of restaurant?
Well, I think what we need to be successful at Skyline, we have to have all the operational skills. We have to have all the bases. What's different about Skyline, now we move in and we have to be Skyline time driven. We have to instill in our employees what we're trying to accomplish. The thing that's real important for us to realize is there's a lot of places for people to go have lunch or dinner. And there's a lot of places for our employees to go and work. I know, so the only difference between working for Skyline and somebody else is the way we make them feel and the way we act.
The key to managing a successful Skyline is performing all the operational requirements well, while creating a warm Skyline time atmosphere for customers and employees.
What is the Skyline time experience that we talk about so much?
Customers come first in Skyline, and that's what sets us apart among all the other restaurants out there.
It's genuine. You got to feel it in your heart.
You have to have a feel-good about your restaurant.
You let them feel that it's their restaurant.
We want them to be a part of our family.
That's a pretty neat thing to have in your job.
The atmosphere of enjoying being
Hi guys,
there,
how you doing today?
Greeting people, saying hello, having fun.
The Skyline time experience means customers feel recognized as individuals. Service is genuine, from the heart. Customers feel like family. Service is high energy, yet comfortable and relaxing. And finally, Skyline time means a fulfilling experience, where Skyline people make the real difference.
Well, let's talk about the manager's role in creating that Skyline time experience. What do you guys do to really create that experience?
We really have to set the attitude for the restaurant. Whatever we do, our employees follow. So a lot of times what we have to do is have to keep that positive attitude and realize that we're going to have the best attitude in the restaurant. And if we're having fun and we're going out and showing that out in the dining room and in the front of the restaurant, then our employees do, and it just makes a good overall experience for everyone.
I think it's important to select the right people and make sure that you have the pieces to your puzzle. Outgoing people is what we're looking for.
You have to make sure that everyone's on the same page. That's pretty key. You can tell when things aren't flowing well. You need to get everyone on that same page, and I believe teamwork. You have to have a crew. It goes back to the selection. You have to have a crew that's willing to work with each other, get everyone on the same page to achieve that goal of making it an experience, that's only unique to Skyline Time.
I think it's sincerity. I think it's making people feel how you feel, and it's genuine and honest, and it's not some rehearsed spiel that we have to give. It's a sincerity.
Denise?
He used my word. It was genuine. Smile and mean it. I mean, I have a passion. I like to talk to the customers as they come in. I like to get to know their kids, and quite frankly, I enjoy them coming to see me. You got to feel it in your heart.
Creating the Skyline Time as the manager, everyone follows your cue. You're the leader, and you're the one that needs to expose them to the Skyline Time and the smiles and the good time that they're going to have choosing our restaurant.
The manager's role in creating Skyline Time includes leading and modeling Skyline Time hospitality, selecting potential service and production pros, training employees so they have the skills and confidence to deliver on Skyline Time, creating an environment that's fun, energized, and enables Skyline Time to flourish, being the employer of choice.
How does a new manager make that connection with a customer that they don't even know? Let's go around the group a little bit and come up with some solutions.
A tactic that I like to use is the children. I will go out and I'll talk to the children. I'll get to know the children, ask them if they're married, even if they're sitting in a high chair. Ask them if they're married, got any boyfriends yet, and that always, kind of breaks the ice, and you start getting to know the people.
Denise, any advice for that new manager trying to build that connection?
Well, during your table touches, obviously, you're in the dining room at this time. I think it's important to introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Denise. I'm the store manager. Everything tastes good for you today. Let me get you a couple refills. How are you two? My name is Denise. I'm the store manager. I just thought I'd say hello and, just kind of get to know them. You could talk about the weather. You can talk about anything.
We use the term, touch every table. That's when, that's when you get to meet them and know that they have 3 kids, they're in grade school, they live in the area, and that's the main thing. That's what's unique about Skyline. If you know regular, you see them pulling in a lot, you know what they get, and you have their 3-way and their pop there, their 5-way and their pop there, it gives that extra special touch.
And sometimes with a new customer, you may have seen them for the second time. It's okay at that point. Didn't I see you in here Tuesday? I do. My name's Pat. I'm the manager. What's yours? It's not a place to be shy.
If you're shy, need not apply.
How's the chili today?
Oh, very good.
Great.
Introduce you to my coworker, Greg Adams.
Hi, Greg. Nice to meet you.
And the new manager sometimes can have the advantage of their staff teaching them these new people as well. Because a lot of times, if you're going into a new operation, your staff has been there, they know the guests. Sometimes they'll just introduce you to them. Yes. So it can be just that simple as well.
Okay, but you guys are all talking about the good situations. Really, a critical part of your role has to be handling those bad situations.
Yeah, in case there is a problem, we can hear it firsthand and correct it right away. Sure.
We go so many different places and so many different restaurants, and we hear, was everything okay today? To be a Skyline manager, when you ask that question, listen to the response. Don't just ask, was everything okay today? Well, what's that mean? How was your chili today? Were your conies good? And if they weren't, then make them right. Make them good.
We know that you always order 3-ways. I'm sorry. Let me get that right away, okay?
We want them to know that we appreciate them being there, and whatever it takes to make that customer happy, is the most important thing we can do at that point.
And customer loyalty really is the backbone of everything you guys do.
Right.
Sure.
Our goal in handling any kind of negative situation, a lot of people will stop at making them happy before they, when they leave, they want to be happy. The goal is to get them to come back.
Making the customer connection means building relationships, cultivating regulars, remembering customers' names and their orders, doing what it takes to make sure they return.
We've talked so much about the customers. Let's go back to the employees, and I know that building loyalty among your employees is so important. Why is that so important?
50 employees and 100 jobs. We have to be the employer of choice. We have to treat them right. But it's the right thing to do, too.
You want them to come to work. It goes back to positive reinforcement.
Right.
If they're having a good day, tell them. Say, Susan, you are having a great day. I saw what you did. You took care, of little Bobby Joe. I think the positive reinforcement to the employee is what makes them want to come back and come to work with a smile on their face.
Great job, guys. Keep it going. Everything's going
Now,
great.
what can you do as a manager to really get that training process off to a good start?
It starts with the morale. You have to have a good morale in your restaurant. You have to have a feel good about your restaurant so that your employees, when they come in to train, feel comfortable and feel welcome and see a nice positive attitude in your restaurant.
I think we need to invest appropriate amount of time to teach them the job and teach them right. Give them a mentor, somebody that they can follow, somebody that they can learn the job from.
Cross-training, which is very key in Skyline because there's times during the rush that we talk about that you need to be cross-trained, and that helps promote teamwork.
I think you need to make sure that you communicate to where they are, because most of the time no news is good news, but to a younger person or even to another manager, you've got to let them know where they are so they know what to work toward.
Especially as a trainee. I mean, it's important for any employee to know where you are, but for a trainee, it's critical.
We may feel that they're doing really well in one position, they may feel that they're not. So it may mess up their focus. So it's very important to communicate and give them feedback.
They can get a paycheck anywhere, but when they come to us, hopefully we know about our employees. We know about how they live. We know about how many kids they have. We know the different situations. And it's important that we create a family atmosphere for employees, and in turn, they create that family atmosphere for our customers.
Let's talk about recognizing employees and how you make them aware that you're happy with the job they've done and kind of put them in a frame of mind where they'll keep doing these good things again and again. How do you do that?
I announced the mystery shop scores in the presence of the employees, employees that were involved in the mystery shop while everybody is around. So it really pumps them up, and it's amazing because it seems like just as soon as we set one score, and then another one comes along and it's higher.
We got 100. Let's see. Now wait a second. Well, let's see if we got we even got the bonus questions. We got both.
We buy a birthday cake for each person on their birthday, and it just makes them feel again important.
What about making them aware of some of the goals, the sales goals, and any of the other goals that you have from a management perspective?
You want to let them know what your goal is so they feel a part of the team. We can accomplish a lot more together.
I like to tell them that, hey, we're up over last year, and it's not what I'm doing, it's what my employees are doing. That's the reason, a company is only as good as the employees.
Let me pick up then on how you turn just an average employee into a service pro. What are some of the things that you can do to really boost that employee and move them up to the next level?
Recognition. People really crave recognition, and sometimes it's a matter of finding the smallest thing that they did right to start the snowball rolling.
Maybe if we added some shelves up in the top, we could get some of the stuff out of our way.
I've heard some managers talk about empowering their employees. What do we mean by that?
We don't want our employees to feel like they have to come to us for every little thing in the restaurant that happens.
I think empowerment is giving them not only the right but the responsibility to make decisions to take care of our guests, and then us as managers backing up that decision. And they're not going to make the right decision every time. And when they don't, then we become teachers.
We have a team of servers that works a rush or throughout the day. What better person to come up with a a floor plan or side duty list or to organize their week. It's their week. We don't do this. Let them come up with the ideas, because when they have the ownership, not only will it be done, but it'll be done right and well.
Well, you let them feel that it's their restaurant. The restaurant's only as good as they are.
If we can tell them, you know, look, this is our Skyline. We're the best. We deliver the Skyline time better than any other Skyline or any other restaurant in this area, and give them that sense, then they really pick up on that and really will want to be the fastest. They'll want to be the best,
right.
and they'll do it.
Build employee loyalty by treating employees as you want them to treat the customers, recognizing them individually, rewarding exceptional performance, sharing restaurant goals and results, empowering team member ownership, and creating growth opportunities through personal development.
I want to go through a quick list of what you as a manager should be doing to get ready for that rush. What are the things you should be doing?
I think the first thing you have to do is make sure your aces are in their places. Make sure you have the right coney guy, the best coney guy at the coney station, your best three-way guy at the weigh station. Make sure your waitresses are in the dining room, your dishwashers are in the dish room, and make sure that everybody's where they need to be.
What else?
And it's important to have all your stock ready and to its back at levels, and you got to make sure you have the right utensils. You have to just be ready.
You have to do a walkthrough of your restaurant. You have to make sure everything is done and is ready and it's in its place, so you can see what the potential problems may be and address them then before you get busy, and really look at your restaurant as a whole, evaluate and make sure everything is ready to roll.
Now, when that employee arrives for work, what should you as a manager be doing, and how should you be greeting that employee?
Just like a customer,
Yes.
just like a guest that walks in your door. How you doing? You know, and I think it's important at that point in time, let them know what they're doing. We have a lot of cross-trained employees, you know, so they feel in the know.
If you see they look like they're having a bad day, ask them, is everything all right? Is there anything I can help you with?
It'd be a good time to re-emphasize on, like, maybe the day before. Maybe they had a great day the day before. So maybe, you know, kind of push it along and make them feel good about themselves before their shift even starts.
Bump them up. And by calling to their attention what they've done well the day before, you're really setting the stage for what they should be doing.
Hey, the place looked really good last night. You had a really nice close, and everything looks super this morning.
Thanks, Jeff.
Is the rush the climax of the shift or not?
No. The climax of a manager's day should be prior to any rush.
The setup.
They should be setting up, stocking, getting things in order so that when the rush hits, we can worry about what's really important, and that's taking care of the customer and being able to spend the time to go out and take care of the customer and do the things that we need to do.
To prepare for the rush, have all product in stock within arm's reach. Perform the manager's walk and make corrections as needed. Talk employees into position. Get your aces in their places.
Now, when that rush hits, what exactly should you guys be doing?
We orchestrate, you know, where the people sit. We orchestrate the food getting out. We orchestrate, you know, the waitress.
I think the rush is almost our reward for getting ready for the rush, if that makes sense. You know, because once the rush is here, we've prepared our day, we're ready to roll now.
We should be able to float and be able to go to different locations and help out and help direct people to the areas we need them to be at to keep the Skyline time going, to keep the customer satisfaction at its peak.
And you also have to keep your employees at your peak. Give them that little boost of energy. Hey, you know, that three-way, it looks just like the menu. Or, you know, I heard you upsell a coney to, you know, Mrs. Jones over there. That's what you need to do. You need to keep your employees at their peak so they don't have a letdown during the rush.
Well, it's a good time for us to be looking out at the tables and making sure that everybody's food was made right. A lot of times you can tell just by their plate. You know, if you see somebody that hasn't even eaten their food, talk to them. You know, some people won't even tell you what's wrong. So it gives you an opportunity to maybe fix some possible problems before they leave.
What they're talking about, I think, is using just every sense that you have. You know, what are you hearing going on? What are you seeing going on? Who are you directing? Did you hear the drive-through person? Did they upsell? And if they did, kudos to them. because during the rush, now we're doing what we just got warmed up to do. And if you're telling them to do this, and now you're reinforcing it during the rush, then they've heard it twice, and they can believe that that's what needs to happen.
And I imagine it's part of keeping them on the message. Politicians talk about that during the campaign, but the message obviously is you want to deliver Skyline time, so you in the middle of this organized chaos need to remind them what you're all about. I've heard the phrase that you shouldn't have your head stuck in the chili crock. Now I know that's not a literal phrase. Now certainly as a customer I would like to have my head stuck in the chili crock, but as a manager you're not supposed to do that. Explain to me why that is so important.
If a manager has his head in the chili crock, he can't see what's going on in the rest of his restaurant. He can't see the drive-thrus being backed up, and he needs to put resources there to take care of that. He really is so tunnel visioned that he really can't see anything else going on in the restaurant.
I want to get a sense of really what's in it for the manager when we talk about the need to go stopping by the tables and making that connection with customers. What does the manager get out of that?
Well, most of the time you get some real positive feedback from your guests. You know, it gives you I don't know, it's a little bit of icing on the cake. You know, you've done all the prep work, you've busted your butt all day. Now you go out and you talk to them, and they tell you that it was all worthwhile.
How are you today, sir?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Great. Chili good today?
It's fantastic.
And that's a pretty neat thing to have in your job.
When they feel good, you feel good.
Absolutely.
During the rush, the manager should orchestrate and provide direction for the crew, build customer relationships, maintain overall awareness of everything going on in the store, gravitate to trouble areas, and keep Skyline time at its peak.
What happens after the rush?
That is one of the most critical parts of a manager's day, because after the rush, people tend to want to exhale. That's the time they want to sort of relax and not do anything else. And those are great opportunities for us to take care of the customers that are still coming through the door at that point. And that takes a concerted effort on a manager's part to make sure that we don't let down at that point where everyone else wants to let down.
Excellent points. And boy, I'd stop by any of your restaurants.
Coming out of the rush, the manager should keep Skyline time in focus. Head for the dining room, not the dish room. Keep building relationships with late lunch customers. Direct post-lunch activities through WIN, What's Important Now. Talk employees out of position. Give feedback. Celebrate the team's accomplishments. Your success as a manager revolves around serving great-tasting food and providing top-notch service in a clean environment. But most importantly, your success comes from the special experience you create for your customers and employees. Now it's up to you to make it Skyline time. The rewards of your efforts will not only be found on the bottom line, but also in your personal development, now and in the future.
Here's one important point as we wrap things up. Skyline restaurants that make that emotional connection with their customers, that deliver on the Skyline time promise, often do twice the sales volume of stores that don't, and often have half the employee turnover. Our thanks to everybody on our panel here today, and thanks to you for watching.